Are you eager to start your own vegetable garden but don't have a large yard or garden space? Don't worry. Container gardening is a fantastic solution that allows you to grow delicious and nutritious vegetables even in small spaces. Whether you have a balcony, patio, or just a sunny windowsill, you can enjoy the benefits of homegrown vegetables by planting them in containers. I'm Dr. Denise DeBusk, and in this video we'll explore the 10 best vegetables to grow in containers so you can get started on your own container vegetable garden. I'll also give you some tips on how to be successful with container gardening. I use a lot of Berkey Bucket self-watering containers that I have built to grow in containers. Here are some of the plants in the above photo, all grown up. The eggplants, okra, and marigolds are massive. I also have many other containers including self-watering planters, a tower garden, stackable containers, terracotta pots, and hanging baskets. Let's get started with the first plant, tomatoes. Tomatoes are the most popular vegetables to grow in containers. They come in various sizes, from small cherry tomatoes to large beefsteak tomatoes, and can be grown in pots, hanging baskets, or even grow bags. Just make sure to provide them with plenty of sunlight, well-draining soil, and regular watering, and you'll be rewarded with sweet, juicy tomatoes that are perfect for salads, sandwiches, and sauces. These little beauties are heavy feeders and drinkers, so you need to fertilize them regularly and provide them with all the water they can drink to have happy plants. The tomato in the photo was a heavy producer, but since the pot was on the small side, I had to water it twice a day since it was producing so much. Tomatoes typically do better in 5 gallons or more. For indeterminate tomatoes, ones that tend to keep growing and producing, you should remove the suckers. These are stems that grow between the stem axils. You can snap them off with your fingers if they're small, or you can cut them off. This will allow for more energy to grow into the fruit, making them larger. It also improves the air circulation, reducing disease. Peppers are another great vegetable to grow in containers. They come in different colors, shapes, and heat levels, allowing you to choose the ones that suit your taste buds. Bell peppers, jalapenos, and chili peppers are all excellent options for container gardening. Make sure to provide them with warm temperatures, well-draining soil, and regular watering, and you'll have a beautiful harvest of vibrant and flavorful peppers. On the slide are the peppers I grew this season in my Berkey bucket. Peppers are prone to sun scald in the heat of the summer. You can reduce this by covering them with a shade cloth or having other plants shade the plant. You may be able to stake the plant so that the leaves of the pepper plant shade the fruit. Cucumbers are perfect for vertical gardening as they can be grown on trellises or in hanging baskets. They require plenty of sun, well-draining soil, and consistent watering to thrive. Cucumbers are cross-pollinated, so make sure you have some pollinator plants, or if you are in an enclosed area, you will need to hand-pollinate them. You can see in the photo I grew cucumbers in a bucket with a micro-irrigation system. The back fence was a trellis for these plants and it worked perfectly. This was a simple bucket with a hole drilled in the bottom. They needed to be raised on bricks to prevent fire ants from invading the buckets. Leafy greens like lettuce, spinach, and kale are some of the easiest vegetables to grow in containers. They have shallow root systems and can be grown in small pots or even in window boxes. The kale would need a larger pot. In the photo is what they nicknamed as dino kale because of its look. It got huge in my Berkey buckets this year. They prefer cooler temperatures and partial shade, making them ideal for early spring or fall gardens. You can harvest them as baby greens or let them grow to their full size for a continuous supply of fresh and nutritious greens. Radishes are fast growing and perfect for container gardening. They have a short growing season and can be harvested in as little as 3 to 4 weeks. Radishes prefer cool temperatures and well-draining soil, and they add a spicy crunch to salads, sandwiches, and other dishes. You can plant as many as 12 seeds per 2-gallon container or have them growing as a filler plant in an arrangement. Carrots are root vegetables that can be easily grown in containers. Choose shorter carrot varieties that are suited for container gardening. Provide them with deep pots or troughs to allow room for the roots to develop. Carrots prefer loose, well-draining soil and consistent watering. The soil is quite important for carrots. If you have chunks in your soil, they will grow crooked like the ones in my photo. Some people even plant them in pure sand to grow straight carrots, although you need to make sure they have enough water and fertilizer. Since carrot seeds are tiny, it is easy to overplant them. Make sure you thin them to 3 inches apart after they become seedlings, or you'll end up with small or twisted carrots. Beans such as bush beans and pole beans are excellent choices for container gardening. They are easy to grow and can be trained to climb on trellises or stakes, making efficient use of vertical space. Beans prefer warm temperatures, well-draining soil, and regular watering. You can harvest them as green beans or let them mature for dried beans. I grew yard-long beans. This red noodle cultivar in this photo are harvested slightly immature and fried. Zucchini is a prolific and versatile vegetable that can be grown in containers. Choose compact zucchini varieties that are suitable for container gardening and provide them with a large pot and well-draining soil. Zucchini plants need plenty of sunlight, regular watering, and ample space for their sprawling vines. You can also train them up a stake by tying the stem to the stake and trimming off the lower branches. Zucchini and other squashes are cross-pollinated, so they need pollinators around. If they are in an enclosed area, you will need to transfer the pollen from the male flower to the female flower. You can harvest zucchini when they are small and tender for a wide range of culinary uses, from sautéing to baking. Eggplants are beautiful and delicious vegetables that can thrive in containers. They come in different shapes and sizes, from small round eggplants to long and slender ones. Eggplants require warm temperatures, well-draining soil, and plenty of sunlight to grow and produce fruit. You can provide support to their sturdy stems by using stakes or cages to prevent them from bending or breaking. I had my eggplants in Berkey buckets this year, and they are still producing late into the summer. Once matured, you can harvest them for grilling, roasting, or frying, adding a rich and meaty flavor to your dishes. Make sure you use them quickly after you harvest them, or they'll become bitter. Scallions, also known as green onions or spring onions, are fantastic vegetables to grow in containers, especially if you're short on space. They have shallow root systems and can be grown in small pots or even in window boxes. Scallions prefer cooler temperatures and partial shade, making them ideal for early spring or fall gardens. These can be used in container arrangements like you see here, where they are with some hot peppers. You can harvest them by snipping off the green leaves and using them in salads, stir fries, or as a garnish. In addition to the 10 vegetables listed above, there are many other vegetables that can be successfully grown in containers, such as beets, cauliflower, broccoli, and herbs like basil, parsley, and cilantro. When starting your container vegetable garden, here are some general tips to keep in mind. First, choose the right containers. Look for containers that are large enough to accommodate the growth of the vegetable's root system. Make sure they have drainage holes to prevent waterlogging, which can cause rot. In this infographic, you can see the various volumes needed for different vegetables. Next, use quality soil. Use a well-draining potting mix that is rich in organic matter to provide the right nutrients for your vegetables to thrive. You can make your own or use a bagged soil. I commonly make Mel's Mix for mine, which are equal thirds of peat moss, vermiculite, and different composts mixed together. In this mix, I don't have to add fertilizer since the compost provides the fertilizer, and it reduces one less thing for me to remember in my garden. You can also experiment with using additional materials like bark, perlite, sand, or coconut coir for container mixes. Provide adequate sunlight. Most vegetables require at least 6 to 8 hours of sunlight per day to grow and produce fruit. Place your containers in a sunny spot or use grow lights if you're gardening indoors. If you have an area with only partial sun, leafy vegetables and root crops can handle less sun and thrive. Water regularly. Container gardens tend to dry out faster than traditional gardens, so it's essential to water your vegetables regularly, especially during hot and dry periods. Avoid overwatering or letting your containers sit in standing water, as it can lead to root rot. Some strategies to help you with watering consistently include setting up your micro-irrigation, like you saw with the cucumbers, using moisture meters that are placed in containers, or using self-watering containers. In the photo, I have a small, inexpensive moisture meter in my terracotta pot since they tend to dry out faster and my herbs are wilting often. Fertilize appropriately. Use a balanced, water-soluble fertilizer to provide your vegetables with the necessary nutrients for healthy growth. Follow the instructions on the fertilizer package and avoid over-fertilizing, as it can damage your plants. For organic gardening, you can mix a granule organic fertilizer when planting and water with a liquid fertilizer weekly. Some common organic fertilizers include Job's Organic, Dr. Earth, and Garden Tone. Fox Farm and fish emulsion are common organic liquid fertilizers. You can also use synthetic granule fertilizers every 2 to 4 weeks or slow release fertilizers like Osmocote 1 or 2 times a season. For synthetic fertilizers, you need to be very careful not to over-fertilize them and burn your plants. Provide support when needed. Some vegetables like tomatoes, cucumbers, and beans may require support, such as stakes or trellises, to prevent them from falling over or breaking under the weight of their fruit. Practice pest and disease control. Keep an eye out for pests and diseases and take appropriate measures to control them, such as using organic pesticides or removing infected leaves or plants to prevent the spread. You can also plant companion plants like basil, nasturtiums, marigolds, and borage to help repel pests and attract beneficial insects. In the photo, I'm holding BT, which is a biological pesticide used to kill caterpillars when it is ingested. Most vegetables can be grown successfully in containers. It is important to make sure they have the proper sunlight with enough water and fertilizer. You need to scout early and often and manage them quickly so you can keep more food for yourself. With proper care and attention, you can enjoy the bountiful harvest of fresh and flavorful vegetables from your container garden. Not only will you have the satisfaction of growing your own food, but you'll also be able to enjoy the health benefits of incorporating homegrown vegetables into your diet. So grab some containers, potting mix, and your favorite vegetable seeds or seedlings and start your container vegetable garden today. Any of these you right now? Are you struggling with getting a good harvest? Do you feel like you're wasting money on unsuccessful endeavors? Maybe you feel unsure how to properly care for container grown plants, or you're dealing with pests and diseases on your container plants. Would you rather successfully grow vegetables and herbs in containers? Do you want to overcome your challenges and problems with container gardening? Maybe you want to create a beautiful and thriving space and increase your knowledge and skills in container gardening. If you can relate to this, then you need this resource I'm going to share. I developed Container Grown Goodness to provide struggling container gardeners all the resources they need to grow vegetables in containers successfully. With an hour of training broken into 5 videos, you can get the information you need to feel more confident. This training comes with all sorts of valuable resources. I mentioned the Berkey bucket. You get instructions and a step-by-step tutorial on how to make those. You also get a reference guide on companion plants and pest management. Get access to a shopping list and a checklist for setup and maintenance. If you want to make arrangements, you have a quick guide that lists the perfect varieties to combine beautifully. All of this for the introductory price of $9. You better hurry because I don't know how long this price will stay this low. Visit rescuemyplant.com/container to get this mini course today.